Hello moms and dads of fellow picky eaters. Today I'm going to be making some pear and sweet potato pancakes, and hopefully my picky eater will get some veggies into her diet this way. Okay, so we're going to start off with whisking the dry ingredients together. Not whisking, sifting. So here I've got 1 cup of cake flour, and I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder to help with the rising. So I found this recipe on Squish's website. They have a bunch of recipes for, usual meals that kids will typically eat, but they incorporate their Squish sachets into it to add some vegetables into the child's diet. And so that is the journey that I'm going on currently, to get my child to get some veggies in, because she does not eat any kind of veggie and she eats very few fruits. Okay, so I'm going to move the dry ingredients aside for a moment. And then I'm going to whisk together the wet ingredients. Okay, so here I have 1/2 cup of milk. Okay. I have 2 eggs. And then I'm going to squeeze a sachet of the Squish pear and sweet potato puree in here. Okay, my daughter has not tried this recipe before. This will be her first time, so we are going on this journey together. And hopefully, with all these new and exciting ideas, I'll be able to get her to eat a little bit healthier. Okay. Just give that a stir. Now we are going to add all the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. So it's basically just a typical pancake recipe, or not pancakes, flapjacks, but it doesn't have the sugar. It has the fruits and veggies instead of the sugar intake. But unfortunately, my child loves sweet things, loves sugary things. And so when I serve the pancakes, I'm going to add some Nutella to the top and some blueberries. Hopefully that's like the one fruit that she will actually eat. So hopefully, that will be enough to tantalize her to try the pancakes as a whole. Okay. It's looking quite thick. Hopefully that's intentional, because like I said, I've never tried this recipe before. So hopefully it is working out in my favor. Okay. If anybody has any other tips for me, it is so welcome. Anything that you have tried and has worked, or any way to make the recipes better, because I'm just going by what Squish has on their websites, because the Squish sachets are pretty much my one and only way of getting vegetables in. But her having that puree texture at her age is not ideal, so I would prefer her to have the more textured foods, crunchy and soft and chewy and all sorts of different textures. Okay, so there's our mixture. I'm now going to heat up the stove and start to make the pancakes. Okay, so now we're going to cook the pancakes. So I'm going to pour a little bit of oil into my pan. Okay, let me put a little bit more. Oh gosh, okay, that's a bit oily. Oh, wrong stove plate. Okay, let me turn the heat down. Right, let's move this around. Well, the first pancake's going to be a bit oily. Hopefully the mixture will soak up most of this oil. Okay, I'm not going to be making huge pancakes. I'm going to do some mini flapjacks. I keep calling them pancakes, but I mean flapjacks. Okay, so I'm going to use this small, it's a tablespoon sized spoon. Let me just feel. Okay, it's pretty warm. Okay, it's very oily. I might need to throw that first pancake away or eat it myself because that is a lot of oil. Okay, so we need to cook the pancake mixture until it bubbles on the top, but not just 1 or 2 bubbles. It will need to be, you know, quite bubbly on top to show you that the underneath side is cooked. So we're going to wait for that to happen, and then we're going to flip it over. I'm starting to think that this is a super non-stick pan. It's the first time I'm using it, and I'm wondering if the oil was even necessary, but we'll see once I flip it over. Okay, I'm seeing quite a few bubbles on the top of the flapjack. I got the name right, yay! Okay, so now I'm going to try and flip it over. And if you're wondering what happened to all the oil, it didn't magically evaporate. I got a paper towel and took some of it out because I think it was way too much oil. Okay, so hopefully I'm doing this at the right time. Okay, that looks pretty decent. Okay, so now we're going to leave it to cook for about another minute or so on the other side, and then we can take it off and do the next one. I chose to do the small pan today, but I'm thinking next time I will use a bigger pan so that I can do more than one flapjack at a time, because this is going to take me forever. But it works for this first try, my first attempt. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so it has finished frying now. I might have left it a little bit too long, but it's nice and brown at the bottom. The top may have actually benefited from sitting on a little bit longer because it seems a little bit soft and squishy, but we'll see how it goes. I've just put it on this paper plate and the paper towel just to soak up some of the excess oil. I think I got most of it out with the paper towel while it was cooking, but I want to break it open now and see if it's cooked all the way through. And I'm busy making all the others now, so I will show you guys all the rest of them when they are done. Okay, I would say this is perfectly cooked. Okay, I think I definitely did it a bit too long at the bottom because it is a bit tough to cut through. But there we go. There is my pear and sweet potato squish pancakes. I'm going to give it a try. It might definitely need to be served with something sweet for the picky eaters. It might be good for the little ones who are, you know, first getting their first tastes of solids in. Obviously not at the baby stage where they're still eating purees, but a little bit older, like 9-10 months. I would say these would be good as is for that age group. But for the older kiddies, I think it will definitely need a little bit of a sweetness to it. Honey, Nutella, fruits, maybe some cream or something like that will definitely do the trick. Okay, so here are my completed pancake flapjacks, whatever they're called. They're not all even, but they did cook very nicely. I ended up taking out a bigger pan because the one flapjack at a time was taking way too long. But yeah, they turned out pretty good, I think. So I will serve them up to my little one a little bit later on, and I will let you all know how it goes. Again, if anyone has any tips for me, any ideas, suggestions, recipes, anything to share, I will be eternally grateful for any way to get my child to have a healthier diet. Alright, so this is how I've decided to serve them up, with some Nutella and blueberries, just to get in a little bit of sweetness. Otherwise, I don't think either of the kids will eat it. And then the blueberries just to get in a little bit of extra fruit for the vitamins and minerals. So let's see how they do. And here is the verdict. My non-picky eater cleaned his plate, and my picky eater took one bite and ate a couple blueberries and tried to smush the rest into the pancake. So this one was definitely not a winner, but I'm going to keep trying, and hopefully I come across a life-changing recipe. But maybe it will work for one of you. Still, if you think of any recipes to share with me, please do, because we are in quite a pickle with our child's eating habits and we would like to get as much fruit and veggies in as possible. Thank you for watching.